Good morning, everyone out there on Facebook, YouTube, Internet land. This morning, I just wanted to reiterate this point by the Princess of Wales. She says, The Princess of Wales has called for an end to the stigma surrounding addiction and urged people to offer empathy and support to those dependent on alcohol, drugs, or gambling. I would just like to extend that to basically anyone who's suffering any kind of addiction. There are people out there who are addicted to food. There's people out there addicted to sex. So they'll go and cheat on their girlfriend or boyfriend because they have low confidence issues. So they need to find someone who likes them to get them to feel good about themselves and get that rush. Right? There's lots of addictions, and people do need to be far more aware about addiction. And now here's the thing: I've actually beaten some addictions, but I still suffer with some. So uh, I've been a smoker for nearly 20 years, and I am trying to quit. I've been going to addiction therapy for well over a year now. I did manage to quit smoking about a year ago, but after talking to an old friend, ended up stupidly smoking again. But I take the blame for it. Fine. Um, but when I was injured, when my baby was born, because I had a baby, I didn't want to get charged with a crime of smoking cannabis or something, or being in possession of cannabis. So I switched from smoking cannabis to legal cannabis at the time, what was then called legal highs. But nobody knew they were dangerous. Nobody knew how dangerous these legal highs were. They were made out to be a safer alternative to cannabis. And obviously, because it was legal, you couldn't be arrested for being in possession of them. So I then ended up having to beat a legal high addiction. I also used amphetamine to recover from my nerve injury. So I would use amphetamine to get the energy to play football, to go running, or try and learn to walk again, to do exercise and fix myself. And it worked, but then I was left with an addiction to amphetamine where I wasn't then using it for that reason. I was just an amphetamine addict. And at that same time, I was then addicted, obviously, to smoking as well. So it was a bad time. Um, Really bad time. So I haven't had any amphetamine in maybe 8, 9 years. Would never touch it again. Not interested. I haven't had any legal highs in about 9, 10 years. I'd say about 9 years. I have no intentions of ever touching that shit again. Um, Last night I managed to go. Doesn't seem like much to you lot because it's sleep. But my best record recently in the last 6 months with not smoking was about 6 hours. No tobacco, no nicotine. 2 days ago, I managed 9 hours. Today, I managed 8 hours. A few hours before going to sleep, and then the whole sleep. Now, that's not a big deal to some of you, but like it's progress, and that's what addiction is. It's building a life where you don't need something that you think you need. So, yeah, a little bit of understanding and empathy goes a long way. But I would think the biggest thing this country could do would be to decriminalize cannabis. So all the money that we currently have spending on the cannabis goes to the criminals and the black market. That money should realistically go to the government and the taxpayer. So the government and the taxpayer can invest in addiction recovery things and addiction awareness so that we all have less addiction in society. Instead of giving the money to the criminals so they can create more addicts, I stand on the ground that we should be giving the money for drugs to the government and the taxpayer so they can reduce addiction in society. But that's just me. So yeah, she sent the message to mark Awareness Week, and she said significant progress has been made to better understand addiction, but warned more needs to be done. Well, the thing is about addiction as well. All the people who have addictions are made to fight each other. Like people who go down a pub and drink some wine or beer are made to believe they're better than someone who sits at home and smokes a joint. And they're not. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. You're both putting a poison in your body to give your mind a feeling or your body a feeling and try and enjoy that. And you do it regularly. It's the same thing. Um, and a sex addict does the same thing, or a gambling addict does the same thing. There's a lot of people who drink on a regular basis. Like, if you can't go a week without a drink, you are an addict. You're not a serious addict, but you are still an addict. But if you can go a whole year without drinking, you're no addict. If you can go a month without drinking, you're no addict. But if you can't go a week without a drink, you are definitely addicted. You're definitely addicted. It's just not a serious addiction yet. It's on the way. Now, the thing about addiction is that I will tell people is, in order to beat addiction, you need to build new habits. You need to kind of rewire your brain into a new way of living. So, I mean, when I'd quit smoking, every morning I would wake up, I'd have a cup of green tea with some honey and sugar, and then I'd have a banana, I'd have some cereal, I'd do my stretches, I'd do some exercise, and then I'd go for a 1 to 10 mile walk. Then I'd come back and tidy up or watch some TV for maybe half an hour, and I had to keep busy. Now, the thing with addicts is addicts have built up their entire life in a certain way to do certain things, and they actually don't have the wiring in their brain to just not do that. Their entire brain is entirely wired around this addiction they've done for years, and they have to build new wiring so their brain doesn't have to go down this route, it can go down this route. So yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to battle my smoking addiction. I beat the speed addiction and the legal high addiction a decade ago. It's one of the reasons why I've never liked cocaine, because I knew if I ever touched cocaine, I would definitely be an addict, and I wouldn't want that. Despite what some people believe, I've also never tried heroin. I've also never tried crack cocaine. I've never even had morphine. So it was a bit weird when some people were calling me a smackhead, or saying I looked like a smackhead when I was crippled and could barely walk. But yeah, that was a bit weird. So yeah, my best wishes to anyone out there with addiction. I am trying to battle addiction myself. I beat myself up every day about it. I've been going to addiction therapy for well over years. I have people online tell me, "Oh, you smoke too much weed." I tell myself that every day. I literally tell myself every day that I smoke too much and that I shouldn't be smoking. I don't really need everyone on the internet and on Facebook telling me what I already kick the fuck out of myself for, right? If I actually had support from my family and other things, I don't think I would have been such a serious addict. I still take the responsibility and the blame, but in order to beat an addiction, you really do need support from your family and from those around you. And I didn't get that. I was a punching bag, so I didn't get that. They just didn't understand how I was having to use an addiction to escape a problem all of them refused to deal with. They still haven't fucking dealt with it to this day. Fuck. So I've had to deal with it in my own way, which is what the biggest problem with addiction is, I think, as well. You have to face the reasons why you became an addict in the first place. Why did you become a smoker? Why did you start taking drugs? Why are you still taking drugs? What is it that you're avoiding or running away from, or you are unable to deal with? And for me, it was the fact that I was unable to deal with what my dad did to me. And the fact my family never protected me over it. And they never defended me over it. In fact, I was made out to be the bad guy for stealing some petty cash from someone who literally nearly strangled me to death because they lied about it, covered up, and never told the family the truth. Because I tell the truth, like, I didn't deny what I did, stealing petty cash from them. And I said to my mother, I was like, do you not think there's a damn good reason why I stole off him? And she goes, James, is never a good reason to steal. I just looked at her, I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? This person really took my life, and you're telling me it wasn't all right to take a bit of petty cash off him as a fuck you sort of thing? No, of course it was. Now, I'm not saying it was all right to steal. That's not all right. I was still wrong. I still made mistakes. I was still wrong. But, like, it was better to do that than to violently attack others and take out my inner pain on others with violence the way they do. I refused to be like them, so I chose a different path. I chose to hurt myself instead of hurting others. So yeah, I really wish everyone who is an addict the best of luck with dealing with addiction, whether it's gambling or sex or drugs, including alcohol. There's more alcoholic addictions in this country and coffee drinking addictions in this country than smokers, by far. Like literally, you got probably about 1 million people wake up every morning and can't cope without a coffee, and then you've got about 2 million people who can't cope every week unless they've had a drink. Like, at least, it's crazy numbers. Caffeine is a very serious addiction. You go into a corner shop, and you have a look at all the energy drinks, caffeine, taurine. You have a look at all the people's favourite fizzy cans of pop, like Iron Brew, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper. It has caffeine flavouring. So that's how they slip the caffeine in. See, it's not a caffeinated drink. So they're sticking caffeine flavouring. Of course, there's caffeine in the caffeine flavouring. So there's a caffeine drink. We're all being sold addictions every day by private companies and extorted for that addiction. Every day. Every single day. The only one that's not an addiction really is food, because we need it to survive. So that's my little rant for the morning. Addiction's a very hard subject, and it's not a mountain anyone should be climbing alone. That's all I'll say. Have a good one. Bye bye.